No, but I can run upstairs and get those. I told him about them. And I'll go get a few.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay. He said he's willing to let us record.
Should I wait to start recording? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Bobby, my name again is Patricia Najera, and I work at I'm a student at UW Milwaukee, and we're doing this project called Building Landscapes and Cultures, where we're trying to capture stories of people who live, work, or worship in the Thurston Woods community.
Okay.
So thanks for volunteering.
No problem.
So did you know that this neighborhood was called Thurston Woods?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm 23. I'm gonna be graduating from the University of Oshkosh next year, psychology. I've lived in this area my whole life. Came to the center for, let's say, about at least 10 years, maybe more. Well, I started back then, now I work here. Did everything from playing sports and all that. That's my favorite thing, enjoying sports. And working with the kids. That's what I want to do with my career.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah.
Now, you said that you grew up here?
Yes.
So, how many years have you been living here?
All 23.
All 23?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what was a typical day like when you were growing up, when you were younger?
When I was younger, basically all I did, I was outside a lot in the neighborhood, everywhere. We used to mostly play basketball, football, play sports. But just hang out, all the kids would be in the neighborhood. Then in the evening, we would all come here to the center and play basketball more. So it's pretty much, we just liked a lot of sports, There'd be the in-between times, where just different events would happen, but generally we just all hang out and stuff.
Okay. And then who lives with you here?
My parents. I have a house in Oshkosh, but when I'm here, I live with my parents and my brother.
Oh, okay.
My little brother.
And where did you go to school in the neighborhood?
I went to Thurston Woods Elementary School, but that was the only school I went to in the neighborhood. So for high school, I went to Hamilton on the south side.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah.
And how did you get there?
School bus.
School bus.
Yep.
And how was that experience at Hamilton?
I liked it. It was a lot different. Like, just high school is different in general. Like, I remember the first day going there. And, I've heard about gangs and stuff, but I didn't think it was, I didn't know it was in Milwaukee. And then I got to high school, and that was, there was gangs. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much the only thing that was kind of, shocking to me, I guess.
So you never experienced that here in Berryland or anything like that?
Mm-mm. Not really. People talk about it, but it wasn't, it didn't seem like it was serious around here. You know what I mean? It seemed like people were just doing it just to say it. You know what I mean? Just saying it to say it. Then I got there and I saw it, firsthand, the different gangs and stuff.
Okay.
So.
And so you mentioned that you're going to be graduating in May?
Yep.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you the first in your family to go to college?
Yes.
Wow. So can you tell me about that whole experience?
College, okay. It kind of hit me kind of hard because I went to 3 different schools.
3 different colleges?
Yeah, 3 different colleges. The first college I went to was Wisconsin Lutheran. They recruited me to play football, and then I ended up not wanting to play football when I got there, and the tuition was just too high for it to be feasible. So I transferred to University of Milwaukee. I went there for a year. It was okay, but then I decided that I wanted to. So I went to Wisconsin Lutheran for 1 semester, and then I sat out the next semester. And then I went to UWM for a year. And then I decided that I wanted to move away from home and go to school, see what the campus life was like.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Oshkosh. My first semester at Oshkosh wasn't good. Through school all the way up until I got to Oshkosh, I never had to study for anything. I was just everything just came natural and everything. And I got to Oshkosh and I thought I could do the same thing, and I ended up getting kicked out from low grades, and that was kind of tough. So then I had to sit out for the next semester, and then in the fall I went back to Oshkosh. I reapplied and they let me back in, and now I got like a 3.3 GPA. So,
Oh, that's great.
so yeah, I just had to put my, I just had to work. Everything came easy to me until then. So, but now I get it and I'm doing pretty good now.
So do you think that your earlier education prepared you well enough as far as when you first transitioned into college?
I don't know. I think like it does, but it was just like it wasn't challenging enough to me. Like if it would have been more challenging in high school or something, then I would have been prepared for it to be challenging in college. You know what I mean? Like everything just came so natural to me, and I never really had to study anything. And so then I was kind of thought I could do that in college, but yeah, not with the lectures and everything and stuff.
And so why did you choose psychology?
Well, I enjoy working with children, but I didn't want to be a teacher. So then someone told me social work, and that I started in social work when I was at Wisconsin Lutheran. That was my major. It was going to be social work, but I decided to change it because psychology is more broad. Like I can do more things with a psychology degree. So that's pretty much that. And now I'm glad I picked it. Like I enjoy every psychology class that I take and everything. So it turned out to be good for me.
So what do you plan on doing once you graduate in May? Do you plan on continuing studies or working?
I think I want to work. My mom's trying to convince me to keep going to school, but I don't know. But I do want to work. I want to work at a place, something like a community center, like working with kids, like whether it be like a nonprofit organization or something like that.
Can you tell me a little bit more as far as why you want to work with kids or in this kind of setting?
Well, when I was around 14, 15, I actually got hired at this center to work with the youth, and I was a youth worker. And it's just like real natural. Like I'm real I just click with the kids real good and have fun doing it. So I decided that's what I want to do. Just give them something to do instead of be out on the street and all that. I just feel like it'd be better to run a program or something like that.
Oh, that's great. And then can you tell me a little bit about the community? So when I say the community, whether it's how you identify the community, so it's at Berryland, Thurston Woods.
My community, I would say, the only places like I would be with, it'd either be in Berryland or down Call Avenue, between like 35th and 39th, just in that area. And I feel like when I was growing up, the community looked at us as like bad kids. Like they would, the police would get called on us just because we were outside. They were thinking we were up to no good, but in turn we were the ones. We were actually the group of kids. We'd go around cleaning up the neighborhood. Like if you were to look at the street that we all hung out on, like our street would always be clean because we would go out there. Well, our friends' parents would come out and say, okay, you guys, here's a garbage bag, go clean up the neighborhood. So then we clean up our street and everything. Like I just feel like we were looked at negatively, even though we didn't deserve it. Like I think that's a big problem around here is everyone tends to look at the teens in a negative way. Even now they don't give them a chance. It's those teens, watch out for them. It's not let's see what they really are about. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel like that's one of the main issues in the community. But otherwise, like, I don't know as much as it is like the last couple years, but when I was a teenager, all of the youth in the area, we were all like a big family, because we all came here. So when there wouldn't be a lot of fights or anything because we were all one, we were here playing basketball together, going, volunteering around the city together. So it was like we grew to be like a family, and I feel like that really helped a lot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now, it's a little bit different.
And so do you think that anything's changed do you think it's gotten better as far as people having a different perception of let's say kids or families that live at Berryland?
No, I kind of feel like it kind of may have gotten worse because like even now, like even with the people who work here, it's like they don't like, we were talking about the basketball leagues and stuff that we used to do during the summer, and they're like, oh, we're not doing that. We're not bringing any of those teens in here, and I feel like this is the place where they should be, like we should be working with them, not kicking them out and saying, oh, they got to deal with it themselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's just gonna make it worse. That's how I feel. Like, so I feel like it's kind of worse now because there's less opportunities in the neighborhood because they don't really have even a teen program that much here anymore.
Oh, here at the center.
At the center, right?
And they used to?
Yeah, they used to. Like, ever since we were growing up, we get here, there's at least 40, 50 teens here on a night.
So now what do the kids do?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I'll be driving home from Oshkosh and I'll just see everybody just outside, standing around. So I don't know what they're doing, but I just feel like they're looked at in a negative way when they shouldn't be.
Uh-huh. And as even now, how often did you use the Havenswood State Forest, or did you tell me about that?
Yeah, Havenwoods, I never really went there. I went there when I was little, but past like 5th grade, I don't even think I've been there since then.
What did you do there when you were little?
I don't even remember. I went like twice.
Oh.
I know we went for a field trip with my school. We did like a nature walk or something. And I think, I did go there one time just riding my bike. We rode our bikes around through there. But other than that, I don't know. I think it's just, it's so far back off in the corner. I don't think even a lot of people know that you can just go in there and you see stuff,
And do you, are there any specific places in the neighborhood, let's say, where young people hang out besides the Agape Center?
There's a basketball court on around like 42nd and Douglas.
Okay.
And that's where we used to hang out a lot too. And like when I come home, I'll see, 30, 40 kids out there just playing basketball. But even that, like, it used to be a full court. Now they took it down and rebuilt it, but they only built a half court. So it's like people get mad about that too, you know what I mean? Just because they don't have anywhere to play a full court basketball game. It's like you just got to play half court all the time. But that's one place. And then at Thurston Woods School, the elementary school, I know a lot of kids hang out up there playing basketball too. But
is that a full court?
Nope, it's a half court too.
When did they change from full court to half court? How did they put
it
up
was
with
like
things?
5 years ago, I think. No, what they did was they tore the whole park park up. Like, they just tore it all up. It used to be all concrete and stuff, and they had like 4 full courts, and they tore up the whole thing, and then they put some more concrete down and they filled the rest up with grass, and then they just put 2 half courts on the concrete.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
So
like, there was tennis courts and everything on there, and they just tore it all down.
So it's just grass, or is there something else?
Yeah, just grass and then 2 half courts.
So are there any things besides the full courts that you see there's a need in the community for, let's say from whether it's young people or just in general?
In general. Maybe more awareness about like Havenwoods. I think that would help, just because that people around this area don't really, like, it's there but they don't really get exposed to it, you know what I mean? So I just feel like it would be better if they were able to get exposed to it and just know what's there.
Do you think it's hard to get to for people because of Sherman, because of the wide street?
I don't know. I don't think it would be too hard to get to. I don't know if like everyone knows what it is, like maybe just like some flyers about Havenwood sent out to everybody's house might help, just so they can know what's here and what they can do with it.
I had a question about, is there a nickname or, I guess a nickname for Berryland, or no?
No, not really.
Okay,
just
so
Berryland.
Berryland. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had a question related to, you had mentioned that when you were younger, you were part of, let's say, cleaning up the neighborhood, and who initiated that?
Well, when I hung out on 38th Street, and that's where all me and my friends kind of grew up, on that street, and one of their grandmothers used to come out and tell us we had to clean up, otherwise we had to get away from our house. So you guys are going to be out here, clean it up, you guys are out here every day, why would you want to live in this filth, So then once or twice a week we'd go out there and just clean up and, kind of make it look good.
Picking up trash?
Yeah, picking up trash.
Does anybody do that now? Like, does anybody encourage the young people to do that now?
I haven't seen much of it. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen much of it. Even like the park that's right next to Agape is like full of garbage and stuff. And I don't know. I just feel something should be done.
Uh-huh.
So.
And as far as can you tell us, what do you like to do outside of, you know, and I realize you're a youth worker during the day, but what kind of things do you have an interest in outside of your job?
I really enjoy sports. That's my life. Like I just love sports, but I pretty much will do anything. I don't really mind. I just want, you know, anything can be fun. I think it's just takes the right people or the right way to do it. So I don't really think I just have, besides sports, I don't really have any major interests that I just like to do, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, but sports, you know, like biking, I like riding bikes, I like basketball, football, baseball, everything.
Okay. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. I noticed the other day a lot of kids walk through the alleys instead of on the sidewalks. Do kids use the alleys more than the streets? Do people play in the alleys?
I don't know if I would say more, but a lot of kids will have basketball courts in the alleys. You know, just, and that might be what it was, or even like it's a shortcut back home. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's like they're doing it just to use the alley. You know what I mean? But that's probably why. Maybe a shortcut back home. I know down by where I live, there's like the cross alley, and like if we were like coming from the store, we'd cut through there just because to get to our block faster, you know. Okay. But I don't think it's like, you know, like they play in the alley. They might. I mean, I don't know about everybody, but you know, that's how it was for us.
It seems like the alleys around here are really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, when I was growing up, a lot of us had our basketball courts in the alleys, so we'd just go play in the alley.
More than just basketball, or other sports too?
In the alley, pretty much just basketball.
Okay.
But yeah, we used to play football and stuff in the street.
Do the alleys feel more like a place that kids can have that freedom?
Yeah, I would kind of think so, just because, like I said, there are the people, like, there was like a couple people on our street that would just call the police just because we're outside, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, if we're in the alley, they might not see us, you know, so it's like...
Okay, so they watch their front yard more than the backyard.
Right. And even if they do watch it, it's like, it's still in kids' minds probably, you know, it's like, they probably won't see us if we're in the alley, so they won't bother us, you know?
Or it's, something's different about the alley.
Right.
Do you think, just getting back to that point where you said that people who live outside of Berryland, you know, have this negative viewpoint of young people, do you have any ideas of how that could be changed or what could be done?
Maybe like some type of, like, I don't know who would be able to initiate it, but some type of like events where like they would get to, you know, intermingle, you know, not just, you know, the older people are over here, the teens are all over here, and they're just, you know, because of course there's going to be fights, you know, that's just part of growing up, and as soon as there's a fight, like, then it's like, oh, these kids are so bad, and they don't need to be out here, and, you know, and it's, like, I feel like a lot of it is, like, overreacting, and, like, I feel like that can make it worse, you know, like, if you already think that, oh, these people look at us negatively and think we're nothing, like, you're going to think, like, it doesn't matter what you do then, because that's already their opinion, you know, and I feel like that's where, like, when I was growing up, the center helped a lot, because we when we all started coming here, it was like they didn't feel like that about us. Like, we were here and we were doing stuff positive, and we weren't out there fighting and everything, so then nobody could really say anything bad about us out there. So I just feel like having a place to go makes it a lot easier, you know.
And how many, let's say you mentioned that a lot of the kids you grew up with, you know, it's like a family. How many people do you still stay in touch with? Or
a lot of them. Like, 2 of them are my roommates in Oshkosh. We have a house together. Another one, he works here. He's working with us right now. And then even, like, the ones that move out of the neighborhood, like, pretty much all of them, at least I'd say 15 to 20. We're all still real close. Like, anything we do it together, and it's like we really are like a family.
Oh, that's great.
So I feel like that.
And then how much do you share your experiences as far as going to college and being the first in your family to go to college with the younger kids?
I guess I really haven't talked about that as much. But we do try to, like, when we're out here, you know, we tell the kids, like, you know, because we went through all the same stuff where, like, you know, they look at you guys bad, like, you know, just why are you guys doing this kind of stuff? Because sometimes they do, you know, like I said, they feel like they have that negative look, so I feel like that just makes them be negative anyway. So we kind of like try to mentor them. Like even last year we had this program Summer Stars, which is what we played when we were younger. It's like a recreational league, and they were like they come in here all rowdy and stuff, and we tell them, like, you know, just relax. Like, why are you guys being so rowdy? And, you know, that's why they look at us like that now. And then, like, even, like, the people, like, the new, like, because these are, like, a whole new staff within the past year and a half. And, like, we tell them, like, you know, that staff doesn't, they think you guys are just bad kids and, you know, they don't know what to do with you. And then, but, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell kids stuff, you know, like, they want to do their own thing. But we try to, like, tell them the right things to do, and if we see them about to fight or something, you know, we break it up and separate them and all that stuff. Try to, like, mentor them kind of when we can, but, you know, we're not always around.
So you've seen a lot as far as being here 23 years in the sense of new staff and then...
Right, yeah. Well, when I came... I have seen a couple of staff changes, but, like, the main two people that were here before, like, Jessica and all them, they were here for a good 5-10 years, and that's, I feel like, they were the ones who, like, kind of made us what we were, you know, like, I feel like we could have went down a different path, but they, you know, they made us, you know, they made us do homework when we came here, they made us go volunteer at the nursing home before we got to play in our basketball league, you know, like, they would... we'd still get to do the stuff we wanted to do, but it was like they would say, you know, we're helping you guys out by letting you play basketball, so help us out by doing this, you know. And it's like pretty soon it was like we'd be like, oh, do we get to go volunteer today? You know, it wasn't like they made us. It was like we were looking forward to it, you know. And like a lot of people, you know, like we shared stories with the elderly people and stuff, and it was like that kind of, I don't know, like it kind of helped out a lot. Like it made people look at people differently. I feel like that helped out a lot.
And then do you do any kind of volunteering right now?
Not right now as much because I'm in Oshkosh, doing school, and then when I'm not at school, I'm pretty much at work the whole time. So, but other than that, but I would like to. I like doing volunteer work and everything.
What is there any specific area that you'd like to do?
Not really, just anything with children I do. Like I don't really care what I'm doing. Just I like working with children, and you know, just being around children is fun, I think.
Oh, that's great. I don't have any other questions. You?
Well, I've been interviewing the organization True School a little bit. They do hip hop culture and student stuff, and they say a lot of people would be surprised when you give kids a chance. They really care about the place where they live, and they do want to volunteer and they do want to clean it up. Right. Do you have any stories about that, like the way it's the way you've seen kids take initiative, or do you have anything to say to people who might be surprised?
I don't know as far as like stories, but I do agree, like even me myself, like we would get some sense of like pride, you know, after we cleaned it out. Like we would I don't know if you guys are familiar with Flores Avenue Church. Across the street they have that gardening plot. Yeah. Like we actually were the ones that like dug up all the grass, and like we actually like got that ready and, you know, put the soil down and everything, and that was like fun, you know, like we wanted to do that and make it look nice around here. And like but that is true, like if you give them a chance, like they will do it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like don't force them. Like kids don't like to be forced. Like if you give them a choice, like they'll a lot of times make the right choice, like what they think we would want them to do, you know, instead of saying, oh, you have to do this, and it's like I don't have to do anything, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like that rebellious attitude.
So maybe the first time you would go around and pick up trash, did you enjoy it the first time, or did that?
Yeah, we didn't really enjoy it the first time because we wanted to keep playing basketball, but she told us if we didn't, we would have to put the basketball court away. So it's like we had to do it. But then after that, it was like whenever they would come out with the bag, we would just start right away, and we'd be done in like 10 minutes. But yeah, we would.
So as you're picking up each piece of trash, do you notice more about like different people's houses or
Yeah,
the street?
yeah. I think we would notice like which houses had the most garbage in front and stuff like. But then there would be the people that would come outside and say, "Oh, thank you guys, for cleaning up and everything," and that was kind of like gratifying too. Like,
So you'd get to meet people?
well, we already knew them, but it was like a different way of knowing. Like, like I said, like it might be the people who come outside and yell at us because we're being too loud. But then if they come out and thank us, it's like, now maybe they see that we're not bad kids and they might not call the police just because we're outside,
Mm-hmm.
So I think like that was the one good thing about it.
And do you always clean just the street, or do you clean the alleys too?
We mostly did the street,
Yeah.
the street and the yards on the street.
Also, just a quick question. Do you know why the teen programs ended?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it was because whether this is good or not, like the only reason why we even used to come here is to play basketball. Like that, we wanted somewhere to play basketball, and the new staff they don't really like this gym that much. They say it's too small and people get hurt, so they don't really let them play basketball, and so like they would try to like they would have stuff for them to do like like current event reports or something, but then that would be it. Like the kids don't want to come in here and do something and not get anything out of it. What I mean? Like even though they're getting knowledge out of it, they don't. They've been at school all day. They want to come in here, do a report, and then go home. You know what I mean? Like they come here.
Is that what they do now?
Oh, I don't even know if they have the teen program still now. I don't really. I know when when the previous staff was here, we'd have at least 30 to 40 kids a night, and now when the new staff came.
And you would be in the gym most of the time?
Yeah, a lot of us would be in the gym, and then a bunch of other people would be like in the computer lab or doing something else. But like when the new staff came, like they would tell me she would like the lady she's not here anymore either, but she would ask us like, how do we get these teams in here? She's like, I'm getting 5 at the most, and it's like, wow, like that's really a dramatic change just off of the staff change. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like I feel like that goes to show like the staff that was here before was like they were like part of the family, like they were,
Is that a full court basketball?
It's full court, but it's small. Like it's not a full size full court.
Okay.
But it was fun. Like that's where we all grew up playing basketball, and we didn't really have any problems. I mean, besides the couple, injuries that are gonna happen, or somebody might get into an argument and start fighting. But generally, we always broke up the fights. Stuff like that. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe if they were to allow them to play basketball again, that might help. Even if they are only coming for basketball, I feel like that's better than saying you can't come in. You know what I mean? And they'll be sitting outside anyway, on the park.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a few things, but it sounds like the risk, like worrying about kids getting hurt, has gone up. Is that what you get?
I kind of think that that's what they think, and I think they just think like I said about the negative view that people have. Like they just think it's a risk of just having them here. Like they think they're just gonna start fighting, or you know what I mean. But chances are they're not. Like they're the same as us. Like they all know each other. They're all around each other anyway. So why would they? What makes it different of them being in here than being outside? And I just feel like it would be a lot better if they were inside. It cause less problems. You might have 1 or 2 big incidents where there's a big fight or anything like that. But I feel like it's isolated inside the center. You know what I mean? It's not like they're outside where somebody could go home and grab a gun, or you know what I mean, like anything like that. So I don't know.
Has the door always been the kind that you have to buzz in, or?
Yeah.
It's
but a lot. They didn't really used to lock it a lot because, I don't know, but now they do. Mm-hmm. They started that actually while the old staff was still here after a big fight, because there was some guy who brought a whole bunch of his friends here to try to fight people, and they didn't want anything like that happening again. So
that one event kind of changed everything?
Yeah, that was like 6 or 7 years ago. And like it was like ever since then it was like the safety was increased. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was a good thing, like it kept like the wrong people out, and that made it even safer. And I feel like even through the whole time, there wasn't a lot of incidents at all,
Well, I think we covered a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting getting to know this place through the people.
Right. Yeah. So,
I just thought of one thing. Do you know, is there any kind of public official or a Milwaukee police officer who's a liaison, so maybe he goes around and he meets the kids or anybody like that?
That I'm not sure. I know we used to, when I came to the center, when we had the program, they would have like the cops come in here and talk to us and stuff, just about like what's going on in the neighborhood and what types of calls they get and why, and that kind of like, that's how we know, like, they would call just because we were being loud or just because we were in front of their house. And I just feel like events in Milwaukee triggered that, that paranoid of some people, like, if there's a group of 4 or more, it's a gang, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not always true, you need 10 people to play a basketball game. So if we're walking to the courts, somebody might call and say there's a gang moving down the street. But we're really just going to the basketball courts, like, I just feel like there's a lot of overreacting. I understand where they're coming from, but, I just feel like instead of just being paranoid of the kids, talk to them and get to know what they like to do, or, just try to do something, try to build some type of relationship with the teens. And I really think that's the biggest problem, because that's, just even in general, people just look at teens as, that rebellious type of person.
Are there lights on the court, the half courts that you have?
Not anymore.
So there used to be.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I don't know if the lights were on the court, but they were around the court where you could still see. Now there's like it's like built, like there's an alley coming like an L, and we're like, the court is like over here, so you can kind of see because of the alley light, but there's no light on the court anymore. We used to be able to see on the court, because it was built the other way instead too, like they changed the way of the court.
Okay.
I don't know. We thought, when they first did it, we thought they were just trying to like ease everybody away from those courts, because a lot of people would say the courts are the problem too, just because all of us would be up there.
It sounds like that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what we used to think too. I don't know.
Well, thank you for your time for the interview. And these are just some forms that we have that basically telling you about the study that we're doing and your consent to participate.
Okay.
So we were wondering, well, if you could sign the document stating that, this was completely voluntary participation. And the hope is that we're going to take all this information and create a website eventually where we'll talk about the stories people have shared with us.
Okay. Gotcha.
And if you'd like to listen, or we're going to make short movies, and we might get photos too, photos to go along with with your voice.
Right.
And if you'd like to see that before we make it public, then we can do that too.
Okay.
So right here you'd print and sign. It just says.
Oh, okay. So print my name.
Yeah. I missed the first part, but did you ask about like your experiences in the community center? Is that what those? It seems like that's really directly related to your interest in working with kids and psychology.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about your childhood here really inspired you?
I just feel just like the family atmosphere, like, not saying I didn't have a family atmosphere at home, but it was like, it was good to, just come here, and like people really cared, like we went to college, and stuff, like they really cared about that stuff. And I just, I just feel like, just the opportunities was the big thing, like I got the opportunities to work here, and I might not have gotten that opportunity, and I might ever have known that I like working with kids if it wasn't for getting the opportunity to work here,
Yeah.
And that was after I volunteered here and attended the program. Like, I guess that's what kind of makes me want to go into that career, just giving other kids opportunities to succeed and see what they like to do. I think that's pretty much the big thing.
And then here, if you want to print your name and sign your address, city, state, zip.
I'm going to stop recording.